There are very few games in my life that I have found myself playing like over and over again until the day that I will eventually die. Pac-Man World 2, Diddy Kong Racing, Elite Beat Agents. But there's one more game that I'd like to add to that list of primo S+ tier video games. It's so good! Mario Bros. Was an arcade game that Nintendo released in the prehistoric times of 1983. It was originally a spin-off of Donkey Kong that featured both Mario Brothers investigating the sewers of New York City because apparently some strange creatures just kept coming out of the pipes down there. I don't really know what's up with that. So Mario Brothers is a pretty simple game. So you basically just run around these levels like slamming your head into this brick and then you flip the enemies upside down, all while dodging fireballs and Nintendo copyright claims. And then you run up to them and you kick them in the water. Kind of like a typical Wednesday. Once you clear out all the enemies in a level, then you move on. It's not a complicated game by any means, but it's just so friggin' addictive. Now I don't know about you, but for me, I never played the arcade version of this game growing up. Hell, I never even seen one in person until I was like 16 and I found one in a coffee shop downtown. But that didn't matter to me, because I had a better way to play this game. It's Super Mario Advance. Now, because it's December, I want to talk about Christmas. So Christmas of 2001 was a pretty awesome time for me. Jacob, that guy in the video. After just going through a full year of Backstreet Boys and Dare VHS tapes telling me not to snort cocaine and smoke all the weed, I was greeted with two absolutely incredible Christmas gifts from my parents that I will always cherish and I am always thankful for. So first, they got me and my brother the new purple little hot cube complete with a copy of Super Smash Bros. Scuffle. But more importantly, they got us both the new state-of-the-art 32-bit infused beasts that were the Game Boy Advance. And then they got us a copy of Super Mario Advance that we had to share.
Just what I needed.
So after we finished unwrapping the rest of our gifts, and by rest of our gifts, I mean like some socks and a pencil, I just got like a GameCube and a Game Boy Advance. Like what the hell else was I gonna get from my parents? I wrestled that cartridge out of the box, slammed it into my Game Boy, and I was greeted with this.
Let's go. Choose a game.
Oh my god, there's a second game on here? Mom, did you know about this? So for Super Mario Advance, they basically just rebuilt the entire Mario Brothers arcade game from the ground up, and they called it Mario Brothers Classic. I'm so excited to talk about this. I specifically remember not even touching the main game on here for days because I was just so completely hooked on this. I fell in love with just how fast it plays and how much it wants you to pay attention to your surroundings. One thing I like so much about Mario Brothers is it requires a lot of quick thinking and fast reflexes because, believe it or not, it's like really easy to get overwhelmed in this game. I cannot stress this enough, but the movement in the arcade and the NES versions of this game was ass. There was just so much resistance simply trying to move Mario and Luigi around the level, and they were just so freaking slippery, dude. It was like trying to get a bill passed in the Senate. So without a doubt, the biggest upgrade in this game by far is that it doesn't feel like Mario and Luigi are running around with their shoes dipped in extra strength lube. I know it might not sound like a huge deal, but let me give you an example. In the original version of this game, like you could run around and do whatever you want. It wasn't like a horrible, but basically whenever you jumped, you were committed to whatever that jump was. Like there was no control on that thing in the air. But with this version of the game, if you want to jump this way, cool, that's all good. You would change your mind in midair, no problem. You can back that ass up. You couldn't do that in the original version, so this changes up the gameplay dramatically. Because I remember playing the original NES version of this game back in the day and struggling to get past like phase 6 because the movement just felt so poop and jank and garbage and this, however, makes the game feel so much smoother and more refined, like a nice cold glass of Hawaiian punch. Now, I recognize I might be being like over dramatic as hell, but like it sucked. So just imagine doing the ice stages with those physics. I'm not even sure how children in the 80s survived that trauma. The POW block, the most self-esteem defeating weapon in the entire Mushroom Kingdom, or I guess New York since that's where this takes place. So the POW block was like your ultimate oh shit button in this game. So whenever things were getting crazy, you just run down here and just slam your noggin into one of these for the ultimate power trip. In the original two versions of this game, there was only one POW block, so you had to be really, really sparing with its use. But in the remake, there's two. And I can't tell you how much of a game changer this is. You know what else you could do with these? that. Just found out you could do that like 2 weeks ago. One thing that I really like a lot in this game that kind of breaks up the gameplay a little bit so it doesn't feel like too monotonous is that every now and then you get these cool bonus stages and you get to run throughout and collect all these coins and you have to just do it really fast before the time runs out. But in the GBA version of this game, if you collect all the coins, you get a 1-up. And that's really helpful for when you get in the later stages. I don't remember. Hey Jacob! Was that in the original versions of this game? No. Nintendo apparently had so much faith in Mario Bros. Classic that they decided to put it not only on Super Mario Advance, but also on Mario Advance 2, Mario Advance 3, Mario Advance 4, and Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, because why wouldn't we recycle content 4 years in a row? I know a lot of people kind of complain about the fact that Nintendo literally took the exact same game and stuck it on 5 different games. In my opinion though, I actually wasn't too upset about that because it meant I always had, like, something else to play no matter what game I chose to take with me. Because as a child of the early 2000s who may or may not have been riddled with ADHD, the doctors are still checking that one out, I still remember being super happy that each of these masterpieces also gave me a second game to play whenever my little baby boy brain got sick of playing the main game. And one of the best things about this remake is that it has multiplayer. I haven't gotten to play the multiplayer since 2004, but it's got it. The multiplayer in this game is sort of like a battle mode, so it supports up to 4 players, and actually only one person has to have the game. Like, only one person has to have the cartridge. Now, I could be completely and totally wrong about this. I didn't take time looking this up on Wikipedia, but I feel like this is one of the first times that Nintendo actually let people play a handheld game together with not everyone needing to own the game. So that was kind of cool. Sure made bus rides a lot more fun. At least until Mario Kart DS came out. And then no one gave a shit about that anymore. Over the years though, I kind of feel like everyone's just forgotten about its existence. Which is always funny to me because if you had a Game Boy Advance, there's a pretty good chance that you owned one of these 5 games and you played around in Mario Brothers or 2. Or not. I'm just assuming. Mario Brothers Classic, in my opinion, is like just pure arcade gaming bliss at its finest. Now, is it the deepest game in the world? Well, no, it's Mario Brothers. But Nintendo did a really good job of updating it with new sprites, voice clips, more mechanics, flashier backgrounds, new music. Like, they put in a lot of work here. It's a game full of quick thinking, a pretty good amount of enemy variety types to keep you on your toes, and just the right amount of difficulty to keep you coming back for more, especially because you always die on round 33 like usual.
Mamma mia!
Come on! Merry Christmas.